Good morning and welcome to the first session of Arduino based system for this semester. We have decided to have the conduct of the course with a mix of pre-recorded and live sessions. Few pre-recorded sessions would be very much useful because instead of live classroom where use of interactive screen is not so efficient, use of conventional board is of some kind of simplicity for explanation. So there will be pre-recorded session especially recorded for your class. Those will be made available during the regular lecture hours. This is a class for 3 divisions, so there are around 200 plus students. Even if we have the class in interactive mode, it is not possible to interact with all these students at the same time. So I will arrange for one lecture of pre-recorded lecture of 1 hour. I would like to address 3 times in a slot of 20 minutes or so for 3 different divisions based on their availability of time, so that students can ask the difficulties which they find in the pre-recorded lecture. At the same time, after the lecture, I will circulate a Google form which the students are expected to answer, which will tell me the extent with which they have viewed the lecture, that is in lieu of the physical attendance which takes place in a regular classroom. So I will try my level best to integrate the feel of pre-recorded and live sessions so that students should not face any difficulties. Now we begin with the subject. This Arduino based systems has been introduced as the one of the subjects in the first year, which is common to all branches from the current academic year. That is, yours is the first batch to undergo this subject as a part of the curriculum. In the last semester, I dealt the subject for other 3 divisions, namely civil, mechanical and electrical, whereas in this semester I will be dealing the same subject for electronics, computer and IT. And even though the course contents are common, since the themes which I would be, or not I would be explaining, but the themes which are there of this subject are having more deeper significance for these circuit branches, electronics, computer and IT, I would be more elaborating it than the contents which were discussed for other 3 branches. The syllabus contains effectively 3 different components. First is review of digital circuits. Now digital electronics is there right from, one can say, late high school stage at junior college stage. Now this is something which is everybody is knowing. There is some combinational circuits which must have been there, which must have been learned by you maybe for 11th, 12th or to some extent in physics. Then there will be one module which is based on operational amplifiers. So these 2 are beginning modules, module 1 and module 2, and the remaining modules deal with the concept of Arduino. So in today's introductory lecture, I would like to explain to you the theme of entire subject, even though I will not be touching to actual discussion of any particular part of this subject, being an introductory lecture. Now, if a question is asked, I will review the entire concept of Arduino in most simple words. Friends, the challenges which the teacher community faces in today's world with overexposure to information is manifold. If I try to explain the things to you in exactly the same manner in which we were being explained by our teachers those days, it would be a futile exercise. Means, few decades back, where information explosion has not taken place, the classroom was to a large extent the exclusive place where students should get some information. Even though books were available, the availability of books also was not so abundant, and the conventional lectures which were to be repeated for years together for different set of students was routine those days. But nowadays, where everything is available at the tip of your finger, not even on computer but on a smartphone to you, with especially the pre-recorded lectures from many sources, many of which is now free, spending time in something which is already available to you would be adding to redundancy. So, I will not add to redundancy. I will post the syllabus of the subject. I will post syllabus of the subject on the WhatsApp group. I will make the lectures of my pre-recorded course and other resources available to you, and would like you to go through it on their own, and based on that there would be some assignments which will make me understand the extent to which you have understood the contents. In fact, when the group was formed, this WhatsApp group was formed 4 days back, I was intending to put that material on the group the same day, but I accepted the request of the first year coordinator not to disturb you, because in the crunched academic calendar hardly you are getting 1 week, and if I flood the group with the resources, then many students, because of competition, would be tempted to watch that, and that would have disturbed your very short vacation. So I thought the concept of the first year coordinator to be very much meaningful, because unfortunately, because of the crisis period through which all of us are passing, instead where students are asked to come out of their leisure mood and watch something, attend the classes, it is so crunched that it is required to tell the students that now you take the in-between week as vacation, because otherwise there would be a huge bombardment of content. So I did not put that deliberately, as I was convinced by the suggestion of your first year coordinator, and I am sure that you must be thankful for him for enabling you to enjoy a peaceful inter-semester break. But now that is over, and in the available short span, you are expected to make all these things and complete the second semester. So let us now henceforth don't waste the time and try to utilize the time available in an optimized manner. So what is the purpose of the classroom discussion then? Is it that I am going to add something new? Rather, I will not be adding much new things, but I will try to give a new way with which you should look towards the contents which are already available to you. I will try to simplify the things. The purpose of my lectures is to simplify the things to a great extent. So I will do that. That is my priority. So based on that, the discussion, the lectures which I am delivering, if you compare with some classical material, then you will find that the contents are somewhat scattered, not so sequenced, not so structured. That is because the purpose of these sessions is to address the gaps of the material which will be made available to you way before we meet for the lecture. Instead, had it been an interactive session, on online interaction is not possible, but we will try to make it possible to some extent. There is a concept of flipped classroom which you might have gone through sometime. Flipped classroom means few decades back, when such audio visual medium was not available so easily, the conventional classroom teacher used to tell same thing to an audience simultaneously, and there is a monologue. Hardly students used to speak, except when teacher asks some questions and makes them to answer. Rather, flipped classroom means, not because of this pandemic, the flipped classroom concept is already there prior to pandemic. So the teacher makes means taking time of all the students simultaneously is not correct. Taking time of all the students simultaneously is not correct. Instead, teacher records the message, teacher records the entire lecture, and that lecture is made available to students before. Students watch that lecture, and then based on that, when teacher comes into the live classroom, he is able to interact with the student, with students occupying at least 40% of the classroom time. So we shall try, even though this pandemic is stopping us from meeting, in the live sessions which I would be taking division wise, we will try to interact. Okay. So with this now, if a question is asked, what is an Arduino? Now, what has happened? I think most of you now know a computer, and you must have programmed on computer. That is, fortunately, since in the Arduino is there in the second semester for you. In the first semester, a computer programming course you have gone through. I don't know whether everybody is having a laptop or not. But what has happened? The availability of smartphone even has made computer redundant to some extent. That almost everything which can be done on a computer can now be done on a smartphone, and because of that we have become so lazy that we even though we have a laptop as well as a computer desktop as well as smartphone, we find it tedious, time consuming, and we avoid to use the laptop or computer because of smartphone. Anyway, so computer or smartphone is well known by everybody, where you have learned programming. When you have not learned programming, I am very specific and I am trying to come to the concept of the theme of this subject Arduino. When you have not learned programming, that time also you were using computer for two purposes. First is to surf internet. Obviously means Internet Explorer, but now that Internet Explorer is now becoming redundant and is going to be drawn in next year. Mozilla or Chrome browser. Everybody knows Google Chrome browser, and it is being used to surf internet and to check mails. And the second application is, especially you use MS Office, Word, MS Word and MS Excel. These you don't consider to be computer programming. But in the previous semester, you have learned computer programming. So, what is now special of Arduino? Using computer programming, now I am coming to the exact theme. Using computer programming, you have learned to have some task, but there are two limited things which you can achieve using computer programming. That is, the input to the program which you are developing should be given through keyboard or through mouse to some extent, and the output which you get is on computer screen. Is it clear? So, keyboard and computer screen, these two, keyboard and computer screen, these two are I/O interface of computer to user, which is a human being. So we find that kind of computer programming is suffering from a severe limitation, that there cannot be any kind of interfacing with external world, including you. So computer is a unit, and with respect to computer, everything outside the computer is external world. Listen very carefully. With respect, there is a computer, it may be either a laptop or a desktop, and everything outside that is external world. So in the conventional computer programming, what we have learned is that it can connect with the external world, that is only you, that is the user, through keyboard and screen. And because of this, we do not find the applications of computer in actual day-to-day application, in this sense, in case of some kind of live process. So you can program, you can get the results, and then you can use the results. But say some kind of let us say simple thing is home automation, automatic fan control, automatic light control, water. I am explaining very simple examples. I have told to you that the entire purpose with which I would be engaging these lectures is in order to simplify your understanding, and every individual should find that these are the lectures delivered keeping him or her in mind. So everybody should find that it connects to his conscious. So now I will ask a simple question. I will ask a simple question. Whether using computer is having a very much advanced microprocessor. Computer is having a very much advanced microprocessor. However, despite it is having very much advanced microprocessor, I will be asking simple questions. Can you use the computer for water level control? Then we can have temperature control. Then you can have automatic lighting control. These are various, or if you have some agricultural application, automatic electric motor control. So these are simple day-to-day applications. However, you have not seen such things being implemented with computer, because it is not that it can't be implemented, but it is that you have not seen, because the I/O interface of computer, I/O interface of computer is just keyboard and screen to a large extent. Now sometimes that you might have seen that even if we add something in I/O interface, keyboard, screen, it includes mouse, and we can say mic, speaker and webcam. So keyboard, mouse, webcam and mic are input, and these two are output interfaces. So what is an Arduino? As I already stated, that in this lecture I am trying to create some kind of very basic idea of the overall subject. I am not touching directly to any of the modules. I will have overall view, especially focusing Arduino. So, what Arduino is? Arduino includes, now I will try to explain it in most simple terms. It is so too simple that few may say, is it an engineering college? But the purpose is understanding at the last mile. Every student should understand. So, what is an Arduino? It is very simple. I am explaining by taking a nice example. Suppose that, listen very carefully. Many of you must be living in luxury. To live in luxury is neither something great, to live in distress is not at all something bad. It depends on individual's fate and capabilities. Sometimes one can say, despite abilities, because of lack of fate, one could not progress like that. Okay, anyway, we are not going to enter into those philosophical issues, but I am just addressing that few of you must have experienced, and almost everybody of you have heard, that there is a concept of a servant in home, Noker. So, what you do, you assign some task to servant, you explain that task to him, and when you explain that task to him, the servant obeys it appropriately. So listen very carefully. When you assign a task to the servant obeys it appropriately and gets the assigned work done in a very effective manner. Now, I am explaining to you a very most simple application. I am explaining to you a most simple application, how that task is carried out, by a servant manually, and if that is to be done automatically, what kind of arrangement we should think of. In fact, if you have not learned, not gone through anything about Arduino earlier, then you can develop this right from the concept itself. Let us take a very simple example, that it is all of you are knowing, especially if you live in an apartment, there is a groundwater tank. I am just giving a very simple example. There is a groundwater tank and there is an overhead tank. There is groundwater tank and there is overhead tank. Now, what should happen? And obviously the municipal water which comes is coming here, means water comes here, and there will be ball cap, so there is no overflow for this tank. And from this there is a pump. It's very simple application. I am deliberately taking simple application. There is a pump, electric pump, through which this electric pump through which you will put the water. Now, what should be the logic? It's very simple. I am taking a very simple example. Now you have and this system should be always functional, so that there should not be any problem in servicing the entire apartment with all time availability of water. So assume that there is one servant. I am just drawing this. The pump is having electric connection. It is connected to a simple the AC motor. Its AC means this is the switch. So the switch can be on, the switch can be off. Now, what is the logic? How? It's a very, what I am telling, I am deliberately taking a simple example. See, for a human being, what is very simple can be very difficult while implementing in an atomized environment, logically thinking. Because the way in which we are brought up, because of a very complex structure of human brain and learning system, many things are so obvious that we even do not feel the existence of those things. So something which we do obviously, if you are told to write on a piece of paper in a flowchart, algorithmic way, you find it difficult. So what is to be done? This man should have a watch on the overhead tank level. There should not be overflow. This man should have a watch on the ground level tank, because it should not happen that the pump is on and there is a dry run because the water has gone down. So there is, just I will put some kind of marks here. So this is a mark, some kind of indicator is there. So this keeps a watch on this. Is water in the lower tank is above the threshold? Is water in the lower tank is above the threshold? Then if not, in any case, irrespective of anything, the pump should be off. Then, okay, the lower tank is full of water, no problem. He makes the pump on and the water starts getting accumulated in the upper tank, overhead tank, and it comes to this much level, this much level. So if now still it is on, it will overflow. So that should not happen. So there is one level. So if water in the upper tank comes to this level, then pump should be made off. Means it's very simple. I am explaining just to give you a feel of how we should go for designing the atomized system using Arduino. Or Arduino is something which the word I am adding later. A very simple application I am telling. So if water touches this level, pump should be off. If water goes below this, pump should be off. When pump should be on? If water in the lower tank is above threshold and water in the upper tank is below threshold, the pump should be on. Then there is one problem. What problem is that pump is on, then water gets filled up, water touches upper level, pump goes off. Then from this overhead tank, connection is given to many flats. So some of the user uses the water. When the water is used, the water level goes down. So when water level goes down, what should happen? He should put the pump on. So every minute he has to do on and off because of the use of water. So what is done? It is not done like that. Some kind of another level is introduced. So it is upper level, LU, LL, lower level. So first of all, the water in the ground tank should be above this level. Water in the ground tank should be, here also you can introduce 2, but this is normally doesn't come. Normally that doesn't come because this flow will be here. Therefore what happens is that once water goes below, it is off, and when this flow starts, water comes up. So there is no need to have 2 levels here. This is just there to ensure that there is no dry run. So water in the ground tank should be above the threshold level. Then only if this water is below, then we should not make on, irrespective of anything. And if water touches upper level, the motor should be made off. And then he should not make it on immediately. Water touches upper level, motor is made off. Then water is being used by the users. It is the feed. What is being used? It starts coming down. Pump is not made on. When water comes below lower threshold, that time pump is made on. And again, even if it goes above lower threshold, it is remaining on. When it touches upper threshold, the pump is made off. So what this guy is expected to do, this 1, this 2 and this 3 are inputs which he monitors using his eyes. These 3 are inputs which he monitors using the eyes. And this is the switch which he controls using his hand. And always what the servant does, there is no other task. Whether this such a dedicated servant for this is affordable or not is not the issue to be discussed by us. But suppose let us say that one servant is there, what he will do is, then again we may say that now the things are advanced. There may be appropriate camera with which he can watch the or both the lower level tank and upper level tank. He can watch them simultaneously, and the switch is in his hand. So what he will do? What is the task that servant is having? Watch all 3 inputs. This is very careful now. We are now coming to subject. Watch all 3 inputs. That is water level in the ground tank and water level in the upper tank. Watch all these 3. Why I am saying 3? Whether water in the ground tank is below threshold or above threshold, and water in the upper tank is whether touch the higher level or is below lower level. Therefore, he has to be precise, he should watch both levels through his eyes, and based on that and based on the logic told to him by his master, he should operate the switch. What is switch? Switch is simple, either on or off. Either on or off. Now, further, I will give this variable as A, and there is a light. There is a light, LED you can have, A. So what is A? It's a lamp. I am making it too simple. Lamp A glows when water is above lower threshold. I am writing lamp A glows when water is above the level specified. Lamp A. This lamp U, deliberate lamp, when lamp U will glow? Lamp U will glow when water touches the upper level. And this lamp L, when lamp L will glow, water touches that level. Is it clear? The lamp glows when water touches that specified threshold and above. If the water is equal to or above the given threshold level A, lamp A will glow. Then lamp H or lamp L and lamp H. There are three lamps, A, L and H. A, L and H. And this will this is the switch S, is the output. If I want to make the switch on, I will say that S equal to 1. If the lamp is glowing, it is input. Are you getting me? The lamp is glowing, it is input to me. And based on those inputs and based on the method explained to me by my master for operating this automatic water level control system, myself as a servant will do what? With my eyes, I will watch A, L and H, and with my hand, I will control the switch. So, that's what I am doing, that's all. 3 inputs and 1 output. Based on 3, lamp glowing, input 1. Lamp not glowing, input 0. If I want motor on, out, it is my output, I am outputting, I am making switch on. Or instead of S, there may be a logic that you may think that S is a switch may input, so we will make it Y. So that Y is a better way of using output. So if Y is equal to 1, switch is on. So the simple logic is based on A, L and H. Based on A, L and H, Y is to be made on or off. So A lamp is either A is a lamp, it is a digital input which is either 1 or 0. Same is case with L, same is case with H. So using inputs, I have to come to a conclusion of Y which is again 1 or 0. And then it is the equation is not so simple which you are thinking to be. The equation is not so simple which you are thinking to be. The equation is somewhat complex, and arrive at the equation. You need to arrive at the equation. How you will arrive at the equation? It requires some kind of thinking. The logic I have explained. Number one is if A is 0, motor should be off. And motor should be on based on L and H. And this is what is done by the logic which human being applies the algorithm. The same is being applied in an atomized environment. Is it that when microcontrollers were not there, is it that when microcontrollers were not there, such kind of automatic systems were not existing? Not so. Such kind of automatic systems were existing even though microcontrollers were not there. But that time, for each application, you have to design a separate system. And if some changes are required, then you have to redesign the system. Whereas, what is an Arduino? If in a simple manner, answer is to be given. Arduino is a device. I will explain in detail, in so much details that you may be tired of. Arduino is a device which is having a set of input pins, which is having a set of output pins, and you can make Arduino to work by any logic which you intend to, so as to generate the output for different input conditions with the logical equation which you may specify. Means Arduino is a non-living servant. Arduino is a non-living servant. मराठीत सांगतो, Arduino हा निर्जीव नोकरासारखा आहे की ज्याला इनपुट पिन्स आहेत, ज्याला आउटपुट पिन्स आहेत. इनपुट पिनवर काय येणार त्यावरून कशाला काय तुम्हाला पाहिजे ते तुम्ही त्यात फीड केल्यावर तो आपोआप तसे आउटपुट जनरेट करतो आणि हे तो 24/7 करत राहतो. कधी कंटाळा तो झोपत नाही. सो Arduino is having a device, means before Arduino also there was what we can say specified circuit with which you can achieve that. I will explain in detail with this application. Many things will come. This is just an introductory session. I have already stated that the material will be made available to you. So much material is available that means few decades back availability of the material was the problem. Now filtering of the available material so as it should occupy your time is a problem. So Arduino is a device which is having digital input pins. Right now, few exact numbers in material and digital output pins. Then, for what input conditions, what output conditions should be, depending upon current state and some current inputs and some previous state in which Arduino was already there. Based on all these things, it can generate the output. So it is having I1, I2, I3, I4. Just I mean O1, O2, O3, O4. You can design any output which can be a combination of any inputs and also some of the output. outputs, means previous output can also be a part of the equation. So this is something like state for a sequential circuit. I will address that very effectively later on. But right now, Arduino is, and all this thing, the logic in which you tell when a servant comes to you, when a new servant comes to you, you explain to him what is expected out of him. You program him. Like that, you program this Arduino, that you can do using computer. You program this Arduino so that the Arduino starts and continues to work so as to generate the outputs for different combinations of inputs and the previous states as desired by the user. So this is, Arduino is a device. It also has some other pins, to that I shall come later. Arduino is a device which is consisting of few input pins and few output pins, and configurable equation for each output pin depending upon multiple input pins, multiple input pin combination and the previous state logic. So it can implement any combinational or sequential circuit as the case may be, as desired by the user. So Arduino, in other words, is a configurable hardware consisting of some input pins and some output pins. I think for the introductory lecture today, whatever we discussed till now is enough. I will put on the WhatsApp group the times for individual interactions division wise, so that difficulties, if any, can be addressed, and I will also provide a Google form before the next lecture, so that whatever is understood in the current lecture you can write. So in today's lecture it's not that we have studied something in detail so that some kind of question can be asked, but you can certainly write some brief note. I will give some suitable Google form. So I hope for today it's enough. Interaction session would be given, the information for interaction session, the link and time would be circulated on the WhatsApp group. So for today now it is enough. Thank you.